What are some safeguards that normal practices that a harried business owner running a $5 million company ought to be able to do?
I think you can look at your bank statements every month. And I think
Okay.
you can look through your credit card statement. I really, really do. If it's just part of your day, I've gotten I was pretty type A about my bookkeeping all these years, for 12 years. And over the last few months, I've been trying to really get rid of some overhead. So of my time, like trying to make my time more valuable. And so I've gotten my bookkeeping processes down to just twice a month. But I have that down twice a month, that bookkeeping gets reconciled and it happens before I touch it, before I pay payroll. And so I'm just going to look through the credit card statement and I'm going to look at the bank statement. And then I'm going to look at my receivables. What's still outstanding? What haven't we collected? There was a business, and this guy was running, I think, like 9 nursing homes or something. So very large business, maybe 6 nursing homes. Anyway, it was a lot. And he had a CFO who was working for him and a couple clerks. And he called me and said something's wrong with cash. So we start down the most common areas people steal money based on what the CFO and the clerks had access to. We go through all of those things. We can't find where there's any missing money. And through bank statements, credit card statements, payroll reports, everything looks fine. But he's like, there's still something wrong because we have no room in our nursing home. Like, this should be working. So I saw this one entry that showed it was reducing other income, which there's no reason to do that. Other income should just be positive all the time. Like, there's not really a reason to reduce other income, but it was being reduced by millions of dollars a year. So I said, let's go talk to your CFO. Well, of course, he's mad. We looked at him, blah, 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 blah. But we got through a few things and I said, I want to ask you about this other income. Why are you reducing other income? And he said, well, I knew that he said, we're behind on collections. We haven't been following up on Medicare, all these different insurance payments, all this. We haven't been following up whenever payments are rejected. And so whenever our claims are rejected, and I haven't been following up on those. And I didn't want the management at the different nursing homes getting in trouble because they didn't even know they'd been rejected. We hadn't been telling them. So instead of putting it under bad debt, I just started hiding in another income. But he just wasn't doing his job.
Okay, so that was what it was. It wasn't that they were paid and he took it. He just wasn't
doing his job. And so to keep the receivables where they weren't just continuously growing, he was just writing it off. But instead of bad debt, he was putting in other income. So he was hiding all of these receivables that were really late, but they still had receivables that were 90 days plus. And so by looking at that report, the owner, could have said, hey, why are these, that would have maybe triggered it before it got to the place that it was. But as soon as he removed the CFO and made sure that they were collecting, he called me it was only a couple months. And he's like, we are doing great because we're actually collecting the money that we're supposed to be collecting.
Yeah.
So I think just looking at those bank statements, credit card statements, you can look at your payroll reports. I would kind of look at payroll on a high level. What do I expect payroll to be? Really, you're just asking yourself the question, what do I expect my deposits to be? What are they? What do I expect my expenditures to be? What are they? What do I expect payroll to be? What are they? If there's differences, go look at that.